Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Airlines Quest. Today, we've got a packed agenda covering everything from Spirit Airlines' financial turbulence to the exciting new codeshare agreement between Virgin Atlantic and SAS. And we'll also dive into the FAA's recent review of United Airlines. Let's get started. Let's start with what might be the most pressing story in the aviation world right now: Spirit Airlines. The low-cost carrier has been in the headlines for all the wrong reasons lately. The airline's efforts to negotiate a deal with bondholders to restructure its debt have stalled, and the clock is ticking. Without a solution, Spirit could be forced into Chapter 11 bankruptcy, a move that could significantly reshape the budget airline industry. So, how did we get here? Spirit has been trying to work out a deal to extend its current debt and secure new financing, but the talks have hit a snag. Key sticking points include deciding which assets bondholders would have a claim on and how much new financing would be provided. Now, if you're not deeply involved in the financial world, this might sound like jargon, but essentially, Spirit is running out of time and options. Bondholders want assurances, but Spirit doesn't have a lot of unencumbered assets left to offer. According to its latest report, Spirit only owns 58 of its 210 planes outright, and just 7 of those are unencumbered, meaning they don't have any loans or liens against them. This is a big deal because without those assets, Spirit doesn't have much leverage in negotiations, and this isn't just a temporary issue. Spirit has been in financial trouble for a while now. According to analysts, the airline has a dangerous combination of high leverage, basically, it's borrowed a lot of money, and negative free cash flow, which means it's not bringing in enough money to cover its debt payments. Citigroup's Stephen Trent has even given Spirit a sell rating, which is never a good sign for a company trying to stay afloat. Remember, Spirit's troubles started long before this recent debt crisis. The airline had been banking on a merger with JetBlue that would have given it a financial lifeline. But earlier this year, a federal judge blocked the deal on antitrust grounds, stating that it would reduce competition and harm consumers. Without that merger, Spirit has been left to fend for itself in an increasingly competitive market. But what does this mean for passengers? Well, if Spirit does end up filing for Chapter 11, it could still operate flights as it restructures, but the road ahead would be uncertain. And speaking of uncertainty, Spirit has already been cutting back on routes to save money. Just last week, they announced they were scrapping 32 routes, affecting cities like Boston and Dallas-Fort Worth. These cuts are part of a broader strategy to reduce capacity by 20% in the fourth quarter of 2024. Now, if you're a frequent flyer on Spirit, you've probably noticed some changes. The airline has been trying to reinvent itself by introducing bundled fares and even premium seating options that block off the middle seat. This might seem like a strange move for a budget airline, but it's all part of an attempt to boost revenues and appeal to a broader customer base. Premium seating on Spirit? Who would have thought, right? All of these changes come at a time when Spirit is facing increasing competition from other low-cost carriers, as well as the big three, American, Delta, and United, which are all fighting for market share in the post-pandemic recovery. Spirit's financials have been hit hard by overcapacity in the domestic market and engine issues with Pratt & Whitney. And let's not forget, Spirit hasn't posted a profit since before the pandemic. In the second quarter of 2024, it reported a staggering $192.9 million loss. That's a huge jump from its $2.3 million loss in the same quarter last year. So, what happens next? Spirit has until October 21st to extend or refinance its bonds due in 2025. That's less than 3 weeks away. If they can't reach a deal, they risk losing their partnership with U.S. Bank, which processes payments made via credit card. And trust me, that's not something Spirit can afford to let fall apart. Now, let's switch gears to some exciting news for international travelers. Virgin Atlantic and Scandinavian Airlines, better known as SAS, have just announced a brand new codeshare agreement. This partnership is set to unlock a plethora of new routes and destinations for passengers flying with both airlines. As of October 7th, passengers flying with Virgin Atlantic into London Heathrow or Manchester will have the option to connect seamlessly to 5 Scandinavian cities: Stockholm, Oslo, Copenhagen, Stavanger, and Bergen. On the flip side, SAS passengers flying into Heathrow will gain access to Virgin's extensive network, which includes destinations across the Caribbean, Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia. Imagine flying from Oslo to London and then catching a connecting flight to Barbados or Cape Town, all on one booking. Why is this important? Well, codeshare agreements like this one are a win-win for both airlines and passengers. For airlines, it allows them to expand their reach without having to operate more planes or add more flights. And for passengers, it means more convenience. You can book a single ticket and have your bags checked through to your final destination, even if you're flying on two different airlines. But that's not all. If you're a frequent flyer, you're in luck. Virgin's Flying Club members and SAS's Euro Bonus members will be able to earn and redeem points across both airlines' networks. Sky Priority benefits will also be extended to elite members, giving them perks like priority check-in, baggage handling, and boarding at key airports. So, if you're someone who values those little extras, this partnership is going to make your travel experience a whole lot smoother. This move follows SAS's recent formal enrollment into the SkyTeam Alliance, which it completed on September 1st. Virgin Atlantic is the only UK-based member of SkyTeam, so this partnership is also a strategic play to boost the alliance's presence in Europe. In short, this is great news for anyone flying between the UK and Scandinavia, or beyond. More options, more perks, and more points. What's not to love? Now, let's wrap things up with some important updates from United Airlines. Earlier this week, the FAA concluded a 6-month-long review of United's operations. This review was launched back in March 2024 after a series of safety incidents raised red flags. Among the incidents was a Boeing 777 that lost a tire shortly after takeoff from San Francisco International Airport, and a Boeing 737 MAX 8 that veered off the runway at Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport. While these incidents were unrelated, they prompted the FAA to take a closer look at United's compliance with safety regulations. So, what did the FAA find? Thankfully for United, the review didn't uncover any significant safety issues. The FAA has officially cleared United and lifted the enhanced oversight that had been in place during the review. However, that doesn't mean United is off the hook entirely. The airline has already taken steps to improve its safety protocols. In a letter to customers, United CEO Scott Kirby acknowledged the incidents and emphasized that they've sharpened our focus. United has since added an extra day of pilot training and revamped its training program for new mechanics. Safety is always a top priority in aviation, and while United has addressed these concerns, it's clear that the airline is doubling down to ensure these incidents don't happen again. After all, in an industry where even the smallest mistake can have major consequences, there's no room for error. And that's all for today. What do you think about these developments? Will Spirit Airlines manage to avoid bankruptcy? Are you excited about the new Virgin SAS codeshare? And what's your take on United's safety measures? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thank you!